Hi there, crafty friends. Welcome and thank you for joining me. My name is Melissa Miller. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Southern California, and today I wanted to make a box card using the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set and the Brilliant Wings dies. So this card came about because I need a card for my mom's best friend who is going through something, and I had a whole bunch of butterflies already done, but I wanted it to be super special for her, not just a regular card. I wanted something special, so I decided to do a box card. I have not done a box card in a long time, and it just looks beautiful, and it's super simple. So let's get the formalities out of the way first. The mini catalog and the annual catalog are ending on May 1st. So if there's anything in either of these catalogs that you had your eye on, that you've been meaning to order, you might want to get that pretty quick because those are ending. We have a new catalog that is starting. I placed my order for that the other day. And if you are not already a customer of mine and would like a copy, please just send me an email to handmadehugs@gmail.com and I can get a copy out to you. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm afraid this video might be a little bit longer because there are a lot of details. It's pretty simple, but there are details in it. So first of all, I had a whole bunch of butterflies already all done. One day I just sat down and I just used a whole bunch of different colors and I just made butterflies. I found a really easy way to do this, and let me show you what that is. So I've got my Stamparatus, which brings us to another issue, sort of. The Stamparatus is being retired. It is a wonderful product. Stampin' Up! Has decided to retire the Stamparatus. So if you want to get a Stamparatus, you might think about doing that before it retires. So I've got my butterfly stamp all set up in here. And I don't want my paper to move because we may need to stamp it again. So I've got my magnets on there. And what I found is super easy. I'm just going to take my ink pad, and just for example purposes, I have Gorgeous Grape. So we're just going to ink up this stamp just like that. And that actually came out really well. That's probably a little bit darker than I would have liked. So then we will take this out of here, set this aside, and we can take our butterfly panel here, and we're just doing the same thing that we did in our other video. I am just going to go over the image, and you can make it as dark as you want in certain areas or as light as you want, and add different colors. You can do that all on here. You can do lighter purple down at the bottom. You can add blue, which is what I did on some of mine that I have in my little tray there. They are all different colors. And then it is just so easy to cut these out. Then you would just take this over to your die cut machine and you've already got 6 all ready to go. So run that through your machine. After it's all run through, then you can just add your layering piece. You can either use gold foil, you can use regular cardstock, however you want to do that. But I found that that was the easiest way to make multiples of the butterflies very, very quickly. So I just wanted to give you a little tip about that. So let's go ahead and we'll put this away and we'll move on to our card. Okay, so I used to do a lot of box cards, and I hadn't done one in such a long time, but we've been seeing a lot of them online lately. There's a lot of other crafting companies that have specialty dies for these. And, that's really not necessary. This was so simple and it was quick. So I'm going to teach you how I've done it here. We need our trimmer, and we will have to open this up. So I am hoping that I can get all of this in there when I edit this. So I've got my trimmer. We are going to start with a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 4, piece of cardstock. And I've got a little sheet here, which I will put in front so you can kind of screenshot it after we have done this one. But I just want to kind of show you how I do it first. So I'm going to start on the right-hand side of my paper, and I am going to move left. So first of all, what we're going to do is we are going to score. So my first score line is going to be at a 1/2 inch. And with our trimmer here, we have a cutting blade, which is the dark blade, and then we have a scoring blade. And that scoring blade has like a little bump on it, and it's gray, so you can distinguish the two. So first we're going to score at a 1/2 inch. Then we will move this down to 2 inches. And we will score again. And then we are going to move down to, let me make sure I get that in there. We're going to move to 5 3/4. So we'll bring our paper all the way down here to 5 3/4. Right there. And then we will score again. And then we have one more score line at 7 1/4. So we'll bring that down to 7 1/4 right here with our arm extended to 7 1/4. And then what we're going to do is we are going to flip this. We are going to turn it up, and we are going to put this at the 2 inch mark. But let me show you first. So we've got a score line here, that's a 1/2. Then we've got another score line, another score line, and another score line. This big rectangle here, we do not want to do anything on that. So be aware of that. We're going to put our paper in at 2 inches, which is 1/2, because we started at 4. And we're going to take this scoring tool, and we're going to start right at that big square. We do not want to score on that big square. So we're going to start right there. Let's get this out of there. We do not want to cut. And we are just going to score all the way down. And then we can kind of lift that back up again, and we can score all the way down. Perfect. So now we've got our score lines going this way, and then one going across. So now what we want to do is we are going to cut. So let's bring our scoring blade down, and we are going to cut only on top of that middle score line. We do not want to cut below it, because these are going to be our edges that are our pieces that fold over. So let's go ahead and do that. And what I do is I just kind of wiggle it back into that tract. I know where that score line is. I'm just going to wiggle it back into that tract. And I know that I'm going to cut at 2 inches. So I can line this up with the 2 inch mark on my trimmer, and we're just going to cut. Same thing on the next one. We're going to line that score line up in that tract, come back down to 2, and we will cut again. Same thing for our next score line. Kind of wiggle that and get it lined up in that tract, and take it down to 2 and cut. And then one more time. Take that down to 2 and cut. So what we're going to do next is we are going to take this corner over here, this loose piece. We don't need that. So we are just going to kind of come in at an angle with our snips because we are going to use this little piece here to tape. So now we can just take our score lines, kind of fold them over, get them going in the correct direction. If you want to, you can take your bone folder, but I don't usually feel that we need to do that. They fold pretty well. So now we will take a little bit of our tear and tape because I want to make sure that this is really secure. So I'm actually going to put 2 pieces on there. I'm going to put one closest to the edge right here. I am going to peel this off and then I will attach another piece of score and tape or tear and tape. Put another one right here just because I want to make sure that holds really, really well. Just like that. And then we can just take this and fold it over. Just like that. Burnish that. The heat from your finger will kind of help hold that in place. And there we go. We've got our box. All we have to do is decorate it. That is so, so easy. And it is a lot better than spending a lot of money on one of those box dies when you can make it yourself. You can take a corner rounder and you can round the corners, the edges here. You can decorate it any way you want. So I am going to bring this over for you and let you do a screenshot. I've got some little notes here. We're starting with a 4 by 8.5. We're going to move from the right to the left in our trimmer. And I've got everything on there for you, all the measurements. Go ahead and get a screenshot if you want that. And then you will also need 2 pieces, just like this one here, 3/4 of an inch by 4 3/4. And then we are going to score on each end at a 1/2 inch in. So there you go. That's your box. Super, super easy. And you can get 2 out of one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So then let me get rid of my scraps here. So then I also kind of did a little prepping here. I went ahead and I used my stitched Greenery Die. And I used, what is this? Is this Pear Pizzazz? You know what? I'm not for certain. Don't think it's mint macaron. I used our soft seafoam and I went ahead and I ran a piece of that through our stitched Greenery Die, my favorite die in the whole world. I need to see if that's retiring. I didn't even look. I don't know what I'm going to do if that does. I love that die. So I've got my pieces here. I have my 2 pieces that I need for the inside of the box card. I've got my sentiment. We are doing happy birthday because I only needed 1 encouragement card. So we will change our sample here up to happy birthday. I've got a whole bunch of die cut pieces. Now for my dies here, my floral pieces, I used the gold foil, the same gold foil that I used on my butterflies, and I'm using, this is from our framed florets set. This is Dainty Delight, and these 2 leaves are from the framed florets set. So we're bringing in lots of sets, and everything will be linked in the description below. So now I'm just going to bring in some of my glue, and we are going to add our pieces that we cut to fit our box perfectly. So my piece back here, this is 3 5/8 by 3 7/8. And we just want to make sure that we get some glue around those edges, but we want to be careful. We don't want to put too much because I don't want the glue to seep out, because when we fold it, I don't want it sticking. I don't want it to stick to itself. So let's get this placed in there. And because we used liquid glue, we can move it around a little and just make sure that that piece is in there nicely, nice and secure, nice and centered. Then we will also do our pieces on our little flaps here. So this one, I've got 1 7/8 by 3 5/8, and that'll fit perfect on there. Not too much glue, but just enough. And we can attach that. Perfect. And we can lay that down so we can press that piece of paper on there just to make sure it attaches real well. And then the same thing with our two sides. Now my sides are 1 3/8 by 1 7/8. So let's go ahead and get those on there. Okay, that was so easy. Now our box is all ready to decorate. So let's put our little pieces that we have for the inside that we will attach our butterflies to. And I've got one floral image in there. And I did find it best to use our tear and tape on that. So let's get some tear and tape on the edges here, both sides. Okay, so we've got tear and tape on both pieces here with the release paper taken off. And I've found that it's best to kind of just lay it on its side and put these right in place where I want them. So I've just placed them on their side, and all I did was just stick that in there. And you can fold that and make sure that they are nice and secured. Then we'll go ahead and we will do our next one. So just make sure those pieces are folded down. And then I'm going to try to do this. Let's see, I might be able to do it better this way so you can see it. I am just going to butt this one right up to the one in the back. Just like that. Super, super simple. And then we can just fold those pieces. Uh-oh, that one didn't want to stick right. There we go. And then we will just fold those pieces and make sure they are nice and secured. Now this little box card here will fit into a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 envelope, as long as you don't put your decorations outside of it. So that'll mail perfect in a A2 sized envelope. But I went ahead and I put my decorations outside of the box a little bit. So I will just put a piece of cardstock behind this and then mail it in an A6 envelope, and that's perfect. It fits in there just right. So you just need to adjust your envelope size for the decorations that you've got on there. So let's go ahead and figure out what colors we want to use. I've got all my pieces. I think I want to use the blue for the center. I want to use all different colors. I just love that these were so easy to make. So we need a purple in there too. Let's see. Well, let's put our purple on the flap. And let's also do a green on the flap. But you can see here, when I ink blended them before I cut them out, I've got green and blue, I've got yellow and green, I've got, what else do we have? I know I did lots of different colors. I've got kind of a red and a lighter color on there. I just went to town with blending, and I think this was Gorgeous Grape, and I did a lighter pink. I think that was Melon Mambo in there with that. So you can make your butterflies any colors that you want. So let's go ahead and we will use these. So I'm going to take 2 of my floral pieces here. And we have to be cautious of where we glue them down because we are having them hang over a little bit. And it looks like there we go. I had 2 little pieces still remaining in there. We don't want them to hang over too much, but we want enough so that it really stands out and catches their attention. So we'll go ahead and do it like that. We'll put some glue here. And I'm kind of using my grid paper to watch where I was centering that. I don't want to go too far off. And again, I'm going to be careful with my glue because when we close this up, I don't want glue to stick to it too much. So let's put this one just like that. We can hold that down for just a couple seconds. And then we can glue our other piece. Not a whole lot of glue. So don't forget our catalog. You know what? I don't want that there, I don't think. Our catalogs are ending May 1st. So you've got just about a month, a little less than a month to order anything out of those that you wanted. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you need a catalog, please just send me an email and I can get one out to you. I think that's probably pretty good there. We have retiring colors. We have new colors coming in. There is so much exciting stuff that is happening. I've already seen the new catalog and it is wonderful. All right, so now we are going to take our butterfly and I want to kind of center that. I'm counting the little squares there. Okay, I think that's probably pretty centered. Now we will just take some of our glue and we are only going to put it in the center of our butterfly because I've got his wings bent up for more dimension. So I am going to take this and I am going to put the top of the card right there on that line. So let's hold that in place just for a second. And there we go. It's starting to come together. We've got our center butterfly. So now we can figure out where we want our other butterflies. And I think we've got all our little decoration pieces here. I think let's do our sides next. So I am just going to kind of figure out where I want these. I'm going to put a leaf underneath each one just for a little bit of decoration and a little more gold in there. Not a lot of glue on these because I don't want it to seep through. Just like that. We will put our butterfly on there again, just right in the middle, because once it dries, it's not going anywhere. Now we can do the other side. If you could please give me a thumbs up. Please comment. Please let me know if you liked this video. Please let me know what sets you might like to see a video on. If you have a favorite stamp set and you just don't know what to do with it, send me a little message. Let me know what you would like a video to be on. I'm open to doing a video on all the sets if you are interested in it. We'll just attach that there. And just give it a little hold for just a minute. You just want to make sure that doesn't fall off. Now we can do the inside. So we've got a orange butterfly and a red butterfly. Let's put, oh, see, that's why you want to kind of hold it. Gosh darn it. Let's put a little bit more glue. That happens. I just got a little too excited and moved on to the next thing before I should have. So we'll just hold that for a minute. That should be good. We will take our red butterfly and we're going to put that one back here. And if you can see, there's just a little area of his bottom left wing that I can put glue on. So that's all we're going to do, is we're only going to put a little bit of glue on that bottom wing there. Just a little bit, because once it dries, it won't go anywhere. So we've got a little bit of glue there. I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to look at it again and make sure I get it placed just right. I am going to put my fingers through here and hold that in place, just like that. Just because I don't want it to go anywhere yet. And what we can do here is we can actually, you know what, let's do that. We can fold the card up, put that in there where we want it placed, and hold it down. That way we know for sure that we've got it on there and we can let it dry. So this is a super simple card, but it is a little time consuming with letting everything dry just to make sure it stays in place. All right, that one should be in place. Then we can bring in our orange butterfly, and I think if we put this one right there, that will be really cute. I had kind of fluffed them up a little bit, but I'm going to unfluff this one just to make sure that's where I want it, and I think it is. So just a little bit of glue on the back here. This is very strong once it's dry. So I'll take this. Where did I want that? I think we want it right here. I'll put a little bit more up here. We're going to put it right there. And just put a little pressure on that so it can dry, and that's perfect. We're just going to hold it for a second. And there we go. We've got our butterflies dancing around on there, and that is so pretty. I just love this. And you can fold it either way. It will fold perfectly for your envelope, and you can go either way. All right, so let's go ahead. And we need to get a little bit of decoration right in this area, in front of our red butterfly, next to our orange butterfly. And I'm just going to trim that down a little bit because we want to glue this. This is so hard to show you. We want to glue this down in there. But I think what we might do, I kind of wanted to use two. So what if we glue this to that? I don't want to put too much glue on there. What if we glue this one on here, just like that, and it'll extend it a little bit. That way we have a little bit more decoration on there. And then we can figure out we want that probably about right there. So I will put a little bit of glue down here. There we go. We can put this down in there. I wish it was easier for me to show you. Let's take this right there. There we go. And we're going to hold that for a minute. There we go. Isn't that cute? I wish my eyes were cameras so I could show you how I can see it. I think it's really hard for you to see it this way, but I'm hoping you're getting the idea. And then we can kind of fluff up our little wings here on our little ones. Let's do our front message. So we're going with happy birthday here. And we'll put this down here. I've already heat embossed that with gold, since gold is our theme here. And I've got a piece of dimensional backing on there that I had cut. So let's figure this out. I want it to hang over my little leaves on there. So how about if we do it like this? Just like that. Oops. I want that in the back. Perfect. And then because we have dimensional on there, that will hold that in place. We can add another leaf in here. I think that one is just a little bit too long. Let's trim some of that off. We can add this right there. Should we put another one? Let's see. Yeah, that might be cute. We can put another one. So we'll just attach that like so. And then what I want to do, just for a little bit more stability, I'm going to take my glue and we're just going to add a few little dots in the larger open areas, just to make sure that our die cut pieces stick really well. Not too much glue, just a little bit. Then we can take this, we can center it. I do have a crooked eye, So I am going to do my best to center that and stick it down. So we will just hold that in place for a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it down kind of on itself and just hold that. See, I wish you could see what I see, and it would probably make a whole lot more sense. But there we go. We're just going to hold that for a minute until that glue adheres. Perfect. And that is so cute. I just love this. Isn't that adorable? Perfect. Okay, so now we can embellish. Put our cover back on our glue so it doesn't dry out. And for my embellishments, you know, I was going to use some gold dots, but I decided to bring in my brushed brass butterflies, and it's adorable with the butterflies. So let's go ahead and do that. I will be using some of the larger ones and the smaller ones. And we are just going to put these in the open areas that we can see when it is sitting up. So let's go ahead and do that. I am going to put one here on the happy birthday. I will put another over here. And I think I did 3 on the front here. So let's do that. We'll put another one right there. And then I am going to put a couple on my sides. Just like that. And how about a little one over here? And I'm just trying to turn them a little bit. There we go. Perfect. So what do you think? That's our card for today. It was very easy, a little time consuming, but really pretty easy. And then we've got all this room on the back to write our personal message. That is so cute. Oh, and the happy birthday I took from the Cottage Rose stamp set. So this is the one for my mom's best friend, and I used Sending Support for this one. So we've got Some Days Are Harder Than Others. And then on the back, I've got Hope Today is one of the easier ones. Sending loving thoughts and prayers. So I really think she'll like that. And then we've got a happy birthday. And it is just adorable. I love this. Please let me know what you think. If you need a catalog, send me an email. Please leave me a comment, like, share, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.